everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're here at the Disneyland Resort for dinner. We're looking for something a little more than a corn dog from the red cart or fried chicken from the Plaza Inn. Although those options are delicious, but today we're in the mood for some fine dining. So we're headed to the Napa Rose at the Grand Californian. It's been a while since we've been there, and we're excited to see if anything has changed. So come join us on this episode of The Walker Chronicles.
Getting a reservation for one of the finer dining establishments here at Disneyland Resort has been quite the chore. With Blue Bayou under refurbishment, Carthay Circle just as difficult to get into as usual, we found ourselves really lucky in getting a reservation here at the Napa Rose. We are really looking forward to our meal. One of the big advantages of eating at the Napa Rose is if you have a reservation, it comes with 5 hours worth of parking, and that includes the valet parking. So if you got some stuff you want to do in the park and you have a reservation, you can get some of that stuff done, get back in, have dinner, and not have to worry about paying for parking. The Grand Californian is one of my favorite hotels. I am a huge fan of the craftsman style architecture, and this hotel has tons of it. I just wish it wasn't so expensive. Check out the ceiling of this place. Look at all of the amazing details, and this place is loaded with stained glass as well. Such a classy place. Well, we're getting close to our reservation time, so it's time to head on over to the Napa Rose. So the cocktail list is quite extensive. I'm a bourbon guy, and I was very, very pleased to see that they actually have Blanton's bourbon. It's $18.50 a shot, but I think I'm gonna have to get one. It's been a while since I've had it, and if you know bourbon, it's a very difficult one to get. All right, Marina, what cocktail are you gonna get, or are you even gonna get a cocktail?
I am gonna get a cocktail. I'm gonna get the Napa Passion, and it's Exfusion, Parrot Bay rum, pineapple juice, and strawberry. So really fruity with that rum kick to it. Sounds really good. I might have a glass of wine also, but we'll see.
Uh-oh. Cheers, sweetie.
Cheers to a good dinner. It smells very fruity and a little floral. Here we go. This is really good. You can taste that it is an alcoholic beverage, but it's not something that you have to take small sips. I could actually take some pretty big sips of this. It does have a floral undertone, but it's not too florally, and it has a lot of fruit flavor to it. I really like the foam on here. It has a pretty thick layer of foam, so when you drink it, you might end up with a little bit of a foam mustache, which is kind of fun. But this is really good.
So here's my Blanton's. I know exactly what to expect for this, so I'm assuming it's going to be delicious. It's just like the perfect bourbon, I think. It's super smooth. Little ice cube, one ice cube makes it a little colder. I prefer it that way instead of the warm, but just delicious. I can already feel it warming at my chest. Fantastic. Okay, Marina, there's a ton of amazing looking items on this menu. What do you think you're gonna get?
Everything looks delicious. There are about 5 different things. You get a starter, a second, you get your main course, desserts. I'm having a hard time trying to decide. So what do you think you're gonna get?
I think I know what I'm gonna get. It's kind of hard because there's a bunch of different items here that sound delicious, but there's one of each of the items, one starter, one second, one main course, one dessert, that are kind of standing out. I think we're gonna have to wait till I actually order, but I think I know what I'm gonna get. This is gonna be an amazing meal, I think. So for my meal, I went with the Diver Scallop as my starter, which has roasted Nantes carrot cloud and carrot top pesto for $26. Okay, so it's time to try this Diver Scallop. It looks amazing. Of course, this is fine dining, so it's a small portion, but this is just my starter, so let's give this thing a shot. Puree. Amazing. That scallop is cooked perfectly. I mean, it is super tender. The top has a little crispiness from being sauteed. Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. The puree is great. The foam is great. There's a little beans in here. This is absolutely delicious.
Trying to get a little bit of everything on here, including a little bit of the foam. Let's try this. Oh my gosh. I have to agree with Chris. This is incredible. The scallop, like you said, it's cooked perfectly. That sear on it gives it a little bit of a crust and a texture to it. Is perfect. The inside of the scallop, tender, moist. There's no chew to it. The carrot puree adds a nice sweetness to it. The vegetables that accompany this are just a perfect match for this scallop. For my starter, I am getting the spring asparagus tagliatelle, which has pine nuts, chervil, and lemon caper nage, and that's $22. All right, now to try my spring asparagus tagliatelle. Looks really good, and again, the portion size is smaller. It's bigger than Chris's. Chris only got the one scallop. I got a pretty nice mound. Looks really good. The cream looks delicious. Now let's give it a taste. This is really good too. That pasta, you can tell it was rolled out by hand. The cream, nice and smooth, buttery. You don't get a lot of the asparagus taste to it, but there is a piece of asparagus in there, or a couple of pieces in there. I haven't had any of the pine nuts to give that nutty flavor to it, but as it is, this is really good. I would have to say between the scallop and this one, I think the scallop takes it.
For my second, I went with the herb gnocchi and spring lamb ragu, which has rich lamb jus and grana padano parmigiano. This looks unbelievable. It looks like almost like a beef stew, but I know it's lamb and gnocchi. I love gnocchi. I like lamb, so I think I'm in for a treat. Just grab one of each. Ugh. Wow. That gnocchi it's the slightest bit firm, kind of falls apart in your mouth. It's delicious. The lamb is cooked perfectly. The sauce that it's in, this lamb jus, is just unbelievable. I mean, once again, this is a home run. What I want is a much bigger plate of this, or a much bigger bowl. This is absolutely fantastic.
For my second, I'm getting the first in season morel mushrooms. It has English peas and mushroom au jus, and that's $24. Now to try these morel mushrooms. I love mushrooms, and it comes with some English peas. There's a pea puree at the bottom. Have a little bit underneath on this morel mushroom. See how this goes. Again, this is incredibly tasty. Those mushrooms are incredible. They are savory. The English peas add a nice little sweetness to it, and they're cooked perfectly. They have a little bit of a bite to it, so they're not mushy at all. Seasoned perfectly well. This whole dish is just incredible.
All right, so I just finished up my gnocchi, and it was delicious. There was more gnocchi than there was lamb chunks, so at the end, I was just eating the plain gnocchi. You get it in your mouth, you kind of squish it around a little bit, and it's just delicious. You get a lot more sweetness from it than when you're eating it with the lamb. Just a phenomenal dish. I really could have an entire plate of that. And I wanted a big roll to sop up all the au jus. It was great. But in my head, I'm sitting here thinking, So I've been to Club 33 a few times, been to Carthay Circle a few times, and I've eaten here a couple of times. And I'm trying to think which one do I prefer the most. When I think of this place, I think of you have a very amazing presentation of food. The environment is nothing special. This could actually be a 24-hour cafe from an environment standpoint. Obviously, Club 33 had this nostalgia. You're in a private dining experience. The food is very good, but it kind of feels dated. And as I think of Carthay, which we most recently had, I think, for New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve, and I think of amazing food, I think of the environment as very upper end, and the atmosphere, I think, is a little more lively. I think from a food standpoint, I'd probably give it to here. The food's been amazing. The environment, overall atmosphere, I'd probably give it to Carthay Circle, and the exclusivity part goes to Club 33. But my favorite restaurant of all, if I had to choose one, I'd probably choose Carthay Circle, to be, believe it or not, even though it's a little bit different. Anybody can get in there, but I think the environment and the atmosphere and the food all go together to have the best experience.
But don't you think it's a little too early to actually place judgment on which one you like better, being that you haven't had the rest of your meal yet?
I ordered the Ribeye Steak with the cap and the eye. I like steak. I like cooking it ourselves. Marina and I like to sous vide steak and then torch it in the backyard. And we've cooked some absolutely amazing steaks that far surpass things we've gotten at restaurants. So I'm assuming it's going to be very good here. I just will be comparing to what I know that we can do ourselves at home with a good quality meat. It'll be interesting to see, but I'm taking everything into account, even the atmosphere. And this is great. Our waiter is absolutely amazing. But I just like the person, I like the atmosphere and the great food and the people and everything so far at Carthay Circle. But we'll see if that changes by the end of the meal. I might just edge out everybody else just based on how great the steak is going to be. But we'll see. All right, sweetie, that's not your original cocktail. What are you drinking now?
I am drinking a Gewürztraminer. So it's a white wine. It's kind of classified, I think, as a picnic wine. Really light, sweet. I really like it, and I think it'll go well with my fish. I think there's fish coming up next. I think our entrees are coming up next, so maybe I should save some of this. But I'm really looking forward to it, and on a take of what Chris was saying as far as which place he likes better, I'm going to hold out my judgment until the end of the meal, because yes, the portion sizes are smaller here, but that's kind of an upscale thing. You get smaller portions. I hope the fish is a little bit normal size as far as serving, but I'm really looking forward to the rest of it, and especially for dessert. I already know what I'm getting, and I'm excited to try it. For the main course, I'm getting the sustainably caught fish of the day, which is a salmon from Canada in Saint's Herb and Meyer Lemon shrimp broth, and that's $50. Main course. Can't wait to try this. It's already like just super flaky. Got it in a little bit of that broth. Let's give it a try. This is really delicious. Very, very delicate. Usually salmon isn't a delicate fish, but the way they prepared this, it's a medium. You did have a choice of how you wanted it cooked. I chose medium, and it is perfect. It is seasoned really well. The skin is nice and crispy, very, very moist. Now I want to try some of these shrimp. Let's give this a taste. The broth that this all sits in is very, very light. It's not creamy, it is more of a broth, but it is seasoned really well, and it complements everything really, really well. I am really happy with my choice, and I can't wait to finish the rest of it.
For my main course, I went with the prime eye of ribeye and braised top cap. Comes with portobello mushrooms, cheddar whipped potato at $62. All right, so the presentation is beautiful. Everything looks great. The steak appears to be cooked exactly as I asked for, which is medium rare. Let's dig into this. Grab a piece of steak, grab some mushroom. Bon appetit. All right, so flavor is spot on. It's seasoned amazingly well. It's nice and flavorful. The piece I got was a little tougher than I would have expected from a ribeye. It still really tasted good. Let's give some of these potatoes a try. So the potatoes are amazing. They have like cheddar whipped into them as well. They came out of a piping bag, so the presentation is great. Yeah, it tastes really, really good. Hopefully some of the rest of the steak is going to be a little more tender. Maybe it was just that little piece I got. But overall, like I said, it tastes delicious. It just, when it comes to steak, I just know what we can do at home. And it's hard for most restaurants to compete with that just because of the time and effort that it takes to make a really, really good steak. It is very good though, but just a little tough for my taste. So the part I just reviewed a minute ago was just the regular ribeye. On top, we actually have the top cap, which is actually braised, and it should be a lot more tender. So let's give it a shot. Oh wow, just touching it already. It already is kind of falling apart. So this is braised, so it's been cooking for a long time in some type of sauce. So I can already tell this is going to be amazingly tender. So that tastes amazing. It tastes like kind of short rib or pot roast. Incredibly flavorful, incredibly tender. It really just fell apart in my mouth. I actually would prefer if that was all the steak on the dish and didn't have the ribeye, because that top braised portion is just the tenderness I was looking for. I mean, it's more tender than I would expect a ribeye to be, but it's delicious. I mean, like I said, overall this is a great dish. I just think the ribeye portion could actually be a little more tender.
I ordered the cheese course for my dessert. There's 3 different kinds of cheeses here. The description that they gave us was way too long to remember. This is kind of like a brie/camembert. This is more of like a consistency of a manchego cheese. And here on the side we have a blue cheese. On the top here we have some raisin grape, kind of a puree of sorts. Here we have a preserved lemon and a berry. So these are all little compotes on top. They have given me a nice little plate of some toasted bread. I think of all 3, these 2 over here are probably my favorites. That blue cheese, just a little bit too strong for me, but it is still good.
And for dessert, the Wine Country New Classic Carrot Cake. So the presentation is spectacular. Look at this dessert. It's got the ice cream on top of it. It's got the carrot cake. It's got this icing on top. It's got all these big chunks of pineapple. I have to admit, it looks really amazing. Let's dig into this and see how this thing tastes. Wow. I did not expect this. The cake is still warm. They obviously just pulled it out of the oven. It's moist. That ice cream is ridiculous. You get some of that icing on top. I mean, this thing is absolutely delicious. And you're getting big chunks of carrot, chunks of pineapple inside of it. This is an amazing dessert. And I want to eat all of it right now, but I think it's time for Marina to try hers.
I am a huge carrot cake fan, and I can't wait to try this. And knowing that it's warm, ooh. I'm just gonna go in for it, and then I'll grab some pineapple later. But look at this. This is amazing. And a little bit of this sauce down here. Let's give it a try. Are you kidding me? This is amazing. Yeah, sweetness level is just to my liking. You taste the pineapple in the cake. The carrot, you taste it a little bit. There's a little bit of texture in there. There's a little bit of nuts in there, which I really appreciate in a carrot cake. That ice cream, nice coolness, kind of melts everything together. This is amazing. Can I let it go? Am I gonna let it go? I think I have to. Chris is like saying, hurry up, hurry up. This is fantastic.
There's the most amazing waiter here. This is Keiichi. Thank you very much for...
also known as Mickey.
Yeah, thank you.
Pay them to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in.
All right, so we just finished up our meal here at the Napa Rose, and it was amazing, I have to admit.
Everything was delicious. The service was fantastic.
Yes, it was. Overall, I think the meal was delicious. But from an entire experience, I think I still prefer Carthay Circle for an overall experience. Food here was amazing. Presentation was top notch, better than the other two places. But overall experience, I think I prefer Carthay Circle.
If you have a chance to get out here to Napa Rose, we highly recommend that you visit. And we want to thank you for watching, and we hope you liked this video. And if you did, make sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, as it really helps our channel grow. And until next time, we will see you on the next episode of
The Walker Chronicles.